Unit 4, Prospecting and Business Development. So what is prospecting? Well, number one, you're an independent contractor, so you have to go out and find your own customers. And those are buyers and sellers of real property. To do that, you really have to have a good attitude and continually market yourself. Do you consider prospecting a major challenge? You probably should, and it has to become second nature to a real estate agent. You have to do this on a daily basis. Get your farm, and you need to touch people in your farm at least once a month. You need to recognize the urgency to maintain constant supply of new properties and buyers, meaning get yourself a database together. Past clients, prospective clients, other people you do business with, and keep them informed that you're in the business and you need customers. You have to have a well-organized system of prospecting, and we'll talk about some of those things that can really help you be successful, whether that be the internet, whether it be walking your farm, whether it be postcards that go out for a just listed and just sold. You have to always be prospecting. You can't be afraid of rejection because you're in sales, and something positive can come out of any contact with somebody. Even though they say, no, I don't need an agent right now, you have to find some way to get in front of them, get a business card, get something that has your contact information on. And don't be surprised, even though you get the initial rejection, that 2 or 3 months down the road, you get a phone call from the same person that says, you know what, I'm looking for an agent now, or I have somebody that I know that's looking to buy or sell a property. As you market, there's a number of things that you need to concentrate on. For example, what kind of properties am I going to market? Am I going to be in the beach area? Am I going to be in another area, more suburbia, with lower price tickets? What type of planning am I using for my marketing? How often do I need to touch people? Do I need a drip system to make sure that my information gets out? All those things have to be thought about. What type of prospects are you looking for? Are you going to work with buyers or sellers? Or are you going to exclusively work with listing properties? Or are you going to work with buyers? And then again, too, you need to satisfy yourself or come up with a farm of where you're going to market. You don't want to be marketing in, say, East County, San Diego, and then all of a sudden decide, well, I'd like to market the beach areas too, or North County. You need to be consistent and make sure that your information gets out on a consistent basis to a common area. So you need to look for those neighborhoods and property characteristics that you are familiar with and want to push. Realtors need to think about too, what method of prospecting are going to have the best results for their efforts. Real estate agents need to think about what type of properties am I thinking about? Am I going to sell the beach areas? Am I going to sell suburban areas? Am I going to sell price ranges between $400,000 and $500,000 or upwards of $1 million? What time am I going to use for this? How am I going to plan my timing out to prospect? And what type of prospects am I going for? Am I looking for buyers exclusively? Am I just going to do listings, or would I do buyers and sellers? And then two, where do I find my farm? What neighborhood am I going to? What properties and characteristics should my farm have that I'm going to stick and be consistent and strategize about farming that neighborhood to make sure I get quality prospects out of there in the form of buyers and sellers. What kind of prospecting should I do? Um, People have a lot of success with door-to-door canvassing. If you have your farm area, you want your face out there and introduce yourself to people and create relationships. So knocking on doors, giving some advertising information, giving a business card is important. Is it telephone conversations? Am I going to do direct mail conversations or canvassing? Am I going to do email solicitations? I should always build an email database. That way I can get to people quickly by way of emails or texts. Am I going to use faxes, newsletters? Expired listings are important too, because with the MLS, you can go in there and filter down and find out where the expired listings are and list them, and then contact that property's owner to find out, your listing expired. How can I help you and sell that property? Was it overpriced? But expired listings are important too. And of course, newspaper leads, you can follow up on for sale by owners, legal notices, and other prospecting methods too. Try all of these. I don't know that I do every one of them, coming out of the gate, but try some. If they work, keep them. If they don't work, try another prospecting method. When you farm, your result is going to be, I want to find clients in the way of buyers and sellers. So I'm going to establish a geographic farm. That's going to be my farm, and I'm going to try to touch that farm at least once a month. You're going to get hit with something, whether it be a postcard, um, or I'll canvas and contact them personally. There's some other non-geographic farms. They may be people that are stakeholder in your business. I know myself as a lender, as I would go out, I would have other people I would farm too, escrow companies, title companies, those people that were in touch with sellers and buyers in the market. And I would always ask, do you know somebody that's currently upset with their current lender and could use another lender to help them get their application approved and then closed on the house? Here's some basic concepts. Always introduce yourself. Let people know what you do for a living. I'm a realtor. I work with buyers and sellers. I would say even go further than that. Your friends and family, let them know first. I'm going into a new occupation. I'm a realtor. If you have any buyers or sellers out there that you're in contact with or potential, have them contact me. Let them know that they can turn those people onto you and you can help them find their perfect home. Always ask if somebody's thinking about buying or selling. Ask their specific needs. What are you looking for? If you're going to buy a house, what are you looking for? 3-bedroom, 2-bath? What area you're looking for? If I come across something, would you mind if I called you? And always thank them. Thank them and leave them something from you where they can contact you back, whether it be a business card or some sort of advertising gift. With smartphones today, telephone canvassing is very important too, because you can contact a lot of people via the telephone or texting. But we'll talk about that a little bit later too, on some of the requirements with using the telephone to make sure that you're respectful of the people you're contacting. If you're contacting a database via telephone, you need to make sure and scrub that through the do not call registry. Really important because it can get expensive. Violations of the do not call registry currently are $40,000 per infraction. There are some exceptions, however. You can call somebody who's listed a property within 18 months. You can call within 3 months of an inquiry that person initiated. You may call if given written permission to call. You can call commercial numbers. The registry only applies to residential numbers. You can call for sale by owners. If they have a sign on, by all means, take that number and call them. When using direct mail, here's a couple tips. Make it look like it's personal. Always use a number 10 envelope. Always use a first-class mail stamp. Don't use labels, mailing labels, but handwrite the addresses on there or use a computer format to address the envelopes where they look like they've been personally filled out. Don't imply the letter is something that it is not. Get the reader's attention as soon as you can. The main points, always use 20-point type. For monthly mailings, probably want to use postcards. In fact, in your farm area, you want to touch them, of course, as we said before, once a month. But anytime you have something that's happened, like a just listed or just sold, you want to send postcards out so they can get out to your farm area immediately. They have something with your face on it and some information that's important to the area, that you just sold a property in there. Oh, what did it sell for? Maybe they want to call you next and say, what do you think you could sell my house for? What do you think the value of my house is? Email solicitations are important also, and you want to grab the attention almost immediately with some sort of header like no down payment, 4-bedroom, or a new listing in a particular area. Make sure you send that out, that it has something where you can grab somebody's attention, but also in your signature or somewhere on there, you've got some hot links where they can click and go to your website, go to that listing, or go to your blog. Just like in the do not call registry, you want to make sure you're not sending out spam. And when you send something out, make sure that you have an opt-out clause in there where somebody can unsubscribe to your future mailings, because there's the same violation. If you get an infraction for something like this, it's $40,000. Fax solicitations may be a play also, but once again with fax solicitations, you have to have written permission to fax to that customer. Penalties on fax solicitations, maybe $1,500 per infraction. Another way to try to get listings would be to use expired listings. Best way to get expired listings is go into the MLS and you can filter it down to expired or canceled listings. And then once you have that, find a way to get the owner's address. You can probably pull a database from title companies and get the listed owner's address where you can contact them. Some people even use reverse telephone directories where you can go back and with that address of the owner, generate a telephone number where you could call. So expired listings are really important because something happened there. The house didn't sell. It went through its term and it expired. So how can you do something differently to make sure that you can sell that house? Owners that fail to renew their listings are probably dissatisfied with that agent. So they're probably looking for somebody to come in and say, save me from this, get my house sold. And in most cases, the reason it didn't sell, it was probably overpriced. And they might be more realistic with a new agent coming in saying, yeah, here's my comparative market analysis. I think your house should sell for this. But expired listings are a risk source of potential clients. And this is something you should probably use. Newspapers you can use for lease also, or maybe place advertisements in there. Something specific. Could be a situation where you have mobile homeowners in there that may be interested in selling a property. Ethnic or foreign language papers, which would be a niche for somebody to go in and advertise yourself as somebody who possibly speaks a language and can help them sell their properties. But there's all kinds of leads and papers, so check those out. And if you recognize something, then follow up on the lead. For sale by owners are also a good way. Best way to look for them is look at newspapers, maybe Craigslist, maybe on other websites. Also, if you're driving in your farm area and you see a sign with a phone number on it, give a call and try to create a relationship with that person. Don't ask for the listing probably right away, but try to create a relationship or contact and bond with them. Give them some information that may help them to sell their property. For the most part, they're trying to save a commission. They don't want to pay for somebody for their expertise. But I think they find out as they're going on through the transaction or start to encounter buyers coming through that they're way over their head and trying to sell a piece of property, and they need somebody that's experienced and can sell their piece of property. But if you create that bond by giving them anything, forms, close comparable sales, down the road, if they have your contact information and you follow up occasionally, they may call you back and say, you know what, I'm giving up. Help me sell my house. I need the MLS and I need your experience. Once again, you can look for sale by owners in local newspapers, Craigslist, driving through your farm area, and if you see a sign, by all means, give them a call. Be respectful of the do not call registries, however. What you can say as you get in front of somebody is sort of an icebreaker and let the FSBO know, or for sale by owner. I'm working with a number of prospects. If I feel one of my buyers would be interested in your home, would you mind if I contact you? Likewise, would you be willing to sign a 3-day listing for my specific buyer if it looks like we can make a deal? Lastly, could you show me your home so I can look at it, find out some of the details, since it's not on the MLS, And if I have a buyer whose needs match this house, I'll bring him over to meet with you. Would that be okay? Sure. What you could also do is just say, would you be offended if I could ask to see your house? Most people are going to say no. I mean, especially if you have a potential sale down the road because you're dealing with buyers. And if their house looks like it meets the needs of one of your buyers, of course they're not going to say no. Come in. I'd like to show it to you, and possibly one of your buyers could purchase it. In addition to give them maybe even a for sale package, some for sale signs, some generic signs, not with your name on it, and other instructions about what happens in the process as you list a property and go through escrow, get your title, and go on to closing. Uh, Provide them a CMA, comparative market analysis of sales in the area. Let them know that you have the expertise and you can help them sell the house. And by all means, make sure you have some advertising material there and a business card, because as they get frustrated and can't sell their FSBO, guess who they're going to call? First card they pick up, the one that you left. You may even want to have conversations about price, and ask the FSBO, well, how did you come up with that price? I may even say it appears a little high. Would you mind if I get a comparative market analysis over to you so you can see what's closed recently? And that can help you come up with a good purchase price or support the one that you're trying to sell at. Ultimately, what you're trying to convey is you're the expert and you're the one that can help sell their house. And by the way, uh, you are worth your commission if you can sell their property. Sometimes you can even look through rental ads and call owners there. Rental ads are posted by investors. Maybe ask them, hey, are you interested in possibly selling your home? You're tired of being a landlord. I can help you if you ever think about that, and get them some contact information from you. Possibly even get some more information over to them if you're searching for investment properties, and you could pull a database of investment properties with off-site addresses. You may want to call them and say, hey, have you ever thought about trading up to a new property? Or have you ever thought about selling this property, buying another property? Do you know about 1031 exchanges where you can have a tax advantage as you sell this property and purchase a like for a like? You're basically taking your equity and putting it into another investment property. Maybe you want to go from a single family home to 3 units, still being an investor and transferring your equity um, via a 1031 exchange and avoiding tax consequences. Another way too is to also check legal notices out. And maybe within these legal notices, there's a potential client. Check out foreclosures. Check out with a foreclosure or a notice of default. You may want to contact somebody. Say, hey, would you like me to try to sell your house before this um, nasty thing, this foreclosure or your notice of default becomes permanent? Um, Divorce. People probably have to move out of the same house or sell that house and split the equity. Any bankruptcies? Are there deaths? Evictions? Code violations? Can I help you sell your home with this code violation? Maybe we need to get it corrected first, and then we can sell your home. Or tax delinquencies. There's opportunities in all these notices. It's up to you to try to find them and help somebody out of their current situation and get them into a better situation. Of course, the internet's here to stay, and a couple good things about the internet. Number one is you can contact a lot of people, and it doesn't cost you much money. You can advertise on the internet. First thing you want to do on the internet is establish your own website. Probably get a website, a blog where people can, get information from you, get advice from you, and then contact you back, or maybe take that link and go to your website and see your listings. But it's a great way to advertise. What the internet is today, and your website is really your electronic business card. If you want validation, get your website together. You can do them very economically, but that's your validation as somebody being in business. It's not so much a business card anymore. It's, do you have a website? Let me go on there and see what you do. Other stakeholders you can look at are property neighbors, investors, speculators. You can contact them and say, hey, you know what, if I ever have a buyer that wants to buy one of your flips, could I bring them to you and sell the property? Or tell them, if I have a property that looks like it meets your requirements or your MO, could I contact you? And maybe that would be a potential flip. So I could help you buy the property. And then when you sell it too, I want to represent the buyer coming through. Contact lenders. Mortgage people know a lot of people that are out looking to buy, sell, and list. If you have a couple, three good loan officers, they can give you potentially a good source of leads. Go to the Chamber of Commerce. There's all business people in there. Most people in there own homes or thinking about owning a home or thinking about listing a home. So being a member of the Chamber of Commerce and showing your face there is really important. Go to open houses. As you visit open houses, who are you rubbing shoulders with? People that are wanting to buy a house. Maybe the house they're looking at right now at that open house isn't quite what they're looking for. And through a conversation, um, you might come up with, say, do you have any objections about this house? What don't you like about it? What are you looking for? Well, maybe I can help you. Here's a business card. First thing you want to do is, if you're getting into a new industry, is talk to your family and friends and let them know, I'm a realtor now. I need your help. If you know of anybody that's looking to buy or sell a piece of property, please let me know. Of course, your past sellers and buyers in your database, you always want to contact them. Your neighbors, any center of influence you have, contact them. This is a good one, community service. You want to do good in the community, have your face known out there. So you're doing good for charities and good for the people in your community. Plus also, as you join a group like Chamber of Commerce or Rotary, I mean, you're doing good things that are helping people out. But all those people in Rotary or the Chamber of Commerce, they're business people too. So as you create that relationship, if somebody they know is looking to sell a piece of property or buy a piece of property, you have a potential lead right there. So community service is very good, and it feels good to help people out in your community or farm also. One of the things you have to do too is develop a prospecting plan. You don't have to. One of the things you should also do is make sure you never let those leads fall through the cracks. Create a database so you can get back with them via your smartphone, your tablet, or your computer. Create that database so you can reach out to them, whether it be by telephone, by text, by emails. You can also do a tickler system, um, some good software to do that. Or one of the things you could do also is through the MLS. If you have a client, say, that's looking for a particular piece of property, you could put them on a drip system where when an MLS listing comes up that is very close to what they're looking for, they'll get a notice that's coming out with all your contact information on it. Also important too, there's a lot of ideas that are being thrown around here. Don't try to implement them all at once, but pick some that you feel are good that could be successful. But also down the road, always evaluate those things. Is this working for me? Is this not working for me? How could I trick this out and do something different? But if something is definitely not working for you, don't do it. Move on to something else and always be changing your strategies. Social media is big right now. If you want to get your name out, you've got to be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Um, Very important. You can do your advertising on there, advertise your listings, advertise for buyers. Really important to get on there. And of course, always have links that go back to your blog or your website. Let's finish up with 12 marketing tips. Number one, create a website. Really important. They're not that expensive these days. You can get some cookie cutter boilerplates and create them yourselves. Make sure you have a ton of good information on there and your listings. Build a blog. That'll attract people with different things. Maybe it's not real estate, but they want to find out about cooking or gardening or something else. Put your blog is on there, and people are going to go read that and also realize too as they're reading, oh, this person's a realtor. When it's time for me to buy something or sell something, I'll call them back. Develop email and marketing campaigns. Those are really important and very cost effective. and then get out to a lot of people. Do some virtual staging or some open house virtual videos where you can actually go through and see the whole house, room by room, and see if that's something that you're interested in looking at. When you do that too, your software will capture the contact information, somebody that went on to look for that. So you can follow them up and saying, hey, what'd you think of my virtual listing? Did you like it? Oh, what didn't you like about it? What specifically are you looking for? Maybe I can find something for you. Try to pick up a client that way. When you see something comes out different, experimental marketing, if it makes sense to you, try it out. Try different things. I mean, if you go fishing, you try different baits till you catch something. Find out what's going to be successful for you. One of the things you can always do is partner with local businesses. If they have a campaign or a city improvement they're trying to do, or with the Chamber of Commerce, you rub elbows with a lot of business people. And once again, they're always in, they will be in real estate because they're going to live in a house or want to buy a house or list a property. You can run Instagram campaign promotions, Facebook campaign promotions. Something very popular today is drone photography. It really impresses people when you get a drone picture and a video showing a house that you're listing. Create a Zillow profile to get your name out there. Always ask for referrals. Always ask for the business. Make your own videos. Very simple to do. You can do them on your smartphone. Post them on your social media. Let people know who you are or what listing you have, what your listing looks like, or maybe even show that you're really an expert. Co-host a webinar and get that information out to people to say, wow, this person is really intelligent. They have their own webinar. They make sense. I'm going to call them when it's time for me to buy or sell. So I hope these tips have been valuable to you and you can use them and be successful in marketing.